Thank you for tuning in to Entertain the Geeky, your source for nerd news.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Jason back at you with more nerd news. So, welcome all listeners out there. It's going to be our first official episode of season 3. To join me for this episode is my good friend Joe.
What's up, bros?
And for this first episode, I'm gonna just throw this out there right now. We are going to be talking about Infinity War. We are going to be talking about specific details from the movie. If you've not seen the movie, what's wrong with you? Go see the movie because it's amazing. It may be the best movie they've ever made. And I know I say that a lot, but everything just keeps getting better. So go out, check out the movie, come back, and listen to us rant about it a little bit. So right off the bat, the credits. I mean, just the opening with the Marvel logo and no music at all.
Yeah. No, and then you get when Marvel Studios shows and the I.O. turns into a 10 because it's been nearly 10 years to the day.
Oh, man.
It's great.
Yeah, I mean, right away, when just no music made me go, oh, no.
Oh, no.
This is going to be terrible.
Yeah, and then the first sound you hear is a distress signal.
Distress signal from the Asgard ship. This is not a war vessel. We have very few warriors here. We are women and children and families. Mm-hmm. Oh, man, I was just like, no. And then the first voice within the story that we hear is the Maw, the Ebony Maw, who kind of took on the role of Corvus Glaive. Corvus Glaive in the comic was the leader. He was the one. All glory to Thanos and that kind of stuff. But it seems like the Maw is taking that role in the movie, which is fine. He's great. He's creepy.
Yeah.
He's completely the stuff of nightmares.
They did a real good job making him like the darkest paladin or cleric of all time. Just preaching the word of Thanos.
Yeah, and that voice. Yeah, that's the creepiest part is this look and this voice that it's so sing-song.
He's fully sunk into it of, you have died to the glory of Thanos.
Yeah.
How lucky are you?
Yeah, and and just getting him the Tesseract and saying, few have ever held a single Infinity Stone, but the honor goes to you, Thanos, to be the first being in the universe to possess 2 Infinity Stones. It was just like I don't know, man. He's such a creepy herald cleric. He is probably the best. Yeah. And he's got telekinesis, which is evident right away. Yeah. Which, he didn't have in the comics. In the comics, he was a mind control. He's telepathic. He had mind controlled things. Which, honestly, we've talked about it on the show. I really thought meant we were going to see Doctor Strange as a sleeper agent, similar to the comic world.
Yeah, especially when they showed him getting tortured by Maw, in the trailer. I really thought that was the route they were going.
Yeah.
I'm okay with being surprised that they didn't.
No, it was great. Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Yeah. And I mean, just speaking of trailers, we sat down before we did this and we watched the trailers just because when I came home from the movie the first night, Thursday on preview night, the first thing I did was look at the trailers because it's always a really interesting thing to see what shots made it in, where those shots are within the movie's narrative. I mean, the opening, we talked about this as soon as we started the trailer for the first teaser for Infinity War, shows a shot of Tony sitting there after Peter has just fallen away.
Yeah.
Right?
That shot died. Is in the last 5 minutes of the film and the last time you see Tony.
And it's the first shot in the first trailer.
Yeah. It's kind of great.
And there was a lot of things like that. That trailer ends with the big money shot of all of them running toward the camera with the Asgard or with the Wakandan army following, and Hulk is in that shot.
Hulk's not even in the Battle of Wakanda.
No,
at all.
Banner is in the Battle of Wakanda, and I thought that was great. I think that was a really fun idea to literally have the Hulk get so beaten down by Thanos and utterly defeated that he's scared. Yeah, the Hulk is scared.
Yeah, he real slapped him into the ground in 2 seconds flat.
Yeah,
and it was kind of great that Hulk won't come out now.
Yeah, well, and I feel there's fear, but I feel like a little bit of it is maybe the Hulk's embarrassed.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that's part of it.
He's been humiliated on the battlefield.
He doesn't understand the word, but he's absolutely feeling it.
But, I mean, just general impressions. I mean, the movie it's fantastic. It's a work of art.
It is a beautiful piece of storytelling. The Russo brothers real outdid themselves.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of going into it didn't think this was a spoiler, but it kind of is a spoiler when you look at the trailer material and what they've said to us is he gets all the stones.
Yeah.
that, I mean, like, I didn't think that was, I thought, of course he gets all the stones. Right?
He not only gets all the stones, he wins.
Yeah.
He completes his objective.
It's very Empire Strikes Back in its ending.
Yeah.
Good guys are beaten down. Bad guys sitting pretty. Yeah, like, it's, man.
And that was such a brilliant thing, too, with, like, he got the stones, and then you thought Thor had him.
Oh, yeah.
And he's just like, you should have gone for the head, and clicks and wins!
Yeah, it's over. Yeah.
He won!
Yeah. And, I mean, honestly, you really do think, even throughout, I mean, especially if you've just been following this from a movie standpoint, I mean, because when you've been following this from a comic standpoint, you start to see all the points come together, you realize they're doing what they did in Infinity Gauntlet. He's going to wipe out half the universe. That is going to be what will happen in this story. But for an average...
We don't have a warlock to save us.
Right. For an average moviegoer, who's followed these stories for the last 10 years, you really do think they're going to pull it out in the end, and they're going to win.
Yeah, you think, like, because it's a movie, like, they'll get danger close. Yeah. Because you got to have that conflict. But, like, they'll pull it out in the end.
Especially when Thor arrives.
Yeah.
And you think, this is it.
Yeah.
Thor's going to turn
around.
The way
he just starts wiping out Outriders left and right with Stormbreaker.
Yeah. The weapon for the king.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was also...
King of what, though? Because...
Well, there's no more Asgard, so...
No, they're not.
He's king of himself.
He's king of ashes.
He's king of whoever's left alive.
I mean, he's kind of lucky he didn't disappear, too, because then there'd be no Asgards.
That's true.
The Who's going to breed with? Wonder Woman?
Maybe the Asgardians are just done. Maybe that's how they write Chris Hemsworth out of the story.
I mean, that's a possibility.
Maybe it's over for them.
Vanishes off in the vast reaches of space.
Yeah. Well, he's got full access to the Bifrost, too, now.
Yeah.
The weapon is the Bifrost. Now.
Yeah, he can go where he wants, whenever he wants. So the Space Stone is now useless to him.
Well, that's true, yeah. So speaking of which, though, a couple of things that happen within the movie that I really want to touch on because I think they're really, really cool is kind of bringing some of these extraneous plot points back full circle for us.
Yeah.
It begins right away with Heimdall sending Bruce Banner back to Earth to warn them.
Yeah, so we finally saw where the dark energy that sent Thor to Earth back in Avengers came from.
Right.
Like, it was Heimdall.
Heimdall generates this darkness, and it's an extra element to his power set that we just weren't unaware of.
Yeah.
And so there's, that kind of comes around full circle for that. And then when they go off in search of the Soul Stone, yes, the Soul Stone is in the movie. Gamora becomes the person who knows its location. She's never been, but she saw a map and she burned it.
Yeah.
And they are confronted by, I guess, you could call him a wraith.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the best way to describe
I don't know how
him.
else to describe a floating, tattered, robed figure other than a wraith.
It's a wraith. Yeah, I mean, he's got the cloak of a Dementor.
Yeah.
It kind of just billows below him in the wind.
Straight out of Azkaban.
Yep.
Red Skull.
And it's Red Skull. Yeah, that's... Wow, blows my mind. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my god.
The best kept secret about that whole film.
It really was.
Because I've been wondering where he was since, 2010 when Cap happened?
Yeah, it was 2011 because they did Thor and Cap in 2011, and then they did Avengers in 2012.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. It was 2011
because the only movie that came out in 2009 was Iron Man 2.
Yeah,
and then I think we went that whole year without a movie, and then Thor and Cap, and then 2012 was Avengers. Maybe it was the other way around. Maybe we went all of 2011 without a movie. There was at least 1 year early on where there was no movie being made because Iron Man and Hulk got released in the same year and Cap and Thor got released in the same year.
Right.
And then Avengers came out in May of 2012.
Anyways.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Either way, since at least 2011, we haven't seen hide nor hair of Red Skull. Mm-hmm. And spoiler, it's not Hugo Weaving.
I wish it was. It sounds a lot like him.
Yeah, no, the only reason I knew for sure is because he's not in the credits. Yeah. And, I had to look it up afterwards to double check, but,
No, he actually is in the credits. I didn't notice it. I was looking for it the first time, and I just overlooked it, apparently, because the second time I watched it, for sure I saw Red Skull, and they call him Red Skull / Stonekeeper.
Stonekeeper.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
but either way, the guy they got for him, he sounds just like Hugo Weaving did in Cap. So
and the makeup
you really wouldn't notice a difference.
Yeah, the makeup is makeup, right? You can make anybody look like that with the right makeup. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so Red Skull coming back around, that brings a pretty big plot point back around to a close as well. There was one other. What was the other one? There was one other big thing that kind of brought it all together. There was one other big reference. I'm forgetting.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Anyways,
I forget it. I've only seen the movie
hopefully
twice.
It'll come back up.
Yeah. But yeah, the movie just twists and turns. They separate the Avengers. Some go out into space.
Yeah, they've got like 3 different main
squads. Yeah,
or no, four main squads, because you've got the part of the Guardians who go to nowhere.
Yep.
You've got Thor, Groot, and Rocket
go to the Forge. Yeah.
You've got Tony, Spidey, and Strange, who are on the ship headed to Titan.
Yep.
And then everybody else is Earth.
Yeah, they go to Avengers HQ and then they go to Wakanda.
Yeah. So four main directions.
And I mean, yeah, it honestly
how to take care of this Thanos problem. And guess what? He's at all 4 fucking locations.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he jumps around a lot.
I mean, he's got the goddamn space stone.
Yeah, and it just
teleports wherever he can think of.
Right. And it was a smart move on the part of the directors to honestly kind of break up the action a little bit and have different things going on in different places. Another best kept secret, and man, we all were wrong. Everybody thought this is who this person's playing. This is what's going on. Peter Dinklage just gets to be Peter Dinklage, but giant.
Yes.
Because the dwarves of Nidavellir are giants.
Yeah. What's his name? Eitri? Something like that.
Eitri. Yeah, Eitri.
Yeah. He plays Eitri the dwarf, who's like
the forger.
15 feet tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love that it's just Peter Dinklage. There's no CG. There's no need for that.
No, he's just imprinted big.
Yeah.
So he's taller than everybody. But he's still a dwarf.
Oh, it's great. It was great.
With his hands completely encased.
Yeah, in metal.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. Like, he still has the knowledge of the dwarves. They relight the forge, and they forge Stormbreaker.
It helps that the mold for Stormbreaker already exists.
That's true.
Which bugs me slightly on a personal level. But only because I know as a person...
plot twist is convenient.
Well, no, it's not even about that. It's one of those, like, because I have outside actual world knowledge of things. It's the same idea as, like, it got ruined for me in Back to the Future. Like, now that I know how to play guitar, like, I know Marty McFly's not playing that guitar.
Sure.
In the same way, in this case of, like, molds for weapons don't work like that. Like, that's not how that works at all when you make a sword or anything like that.
What do you mean, like just having the mold?
Yeah. Like, my best classic for it is like Conan, when you see him pouring like the liquid metal into the mold for the blade.
Sure.
No, that's not how that works at all.
Okay.
Like, at all.
I didn't know how that. I don't know
yeah.
How that
no.
works.
If you try to do that, it'll absolutely crack and break. It's completely useless. You can't do that. Okay. That's not how weapon making works.
Well, dwarves are magic.
I mean, yes, this is a magical weapon made by a magical being
in a magical plant.
Who's using the heart of a dying star that's apparently been dying for 8 million years.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with it. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Also,
Stormbreaker, real cool weapon.
Oh, it looks the axe is fantastic.
It looks so good.
Yeah.
I need Beta Ray build, but it's a cool ass weapon.
Yeah, you and James.
I mean, come on. Tell me you don't want Beta Ray.
I do want Beta Ray Bill, but I would rather him be introduced by James Gunn than by the Russo brothers.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing with that.
I would rather it be happening that way because he's a horse alien.
Yeah.
He's a horse alien guy. Or whatever. I don't know.
No, I mean, like, that would also, I think, at this point, just be a fun way to also write Thor out, is if, like, he went into, like, just hangout seclusion in the vastness of the universe and passed on Stormbreaker.
To another wielder.
Yeah, to somebody worthy.
Sure.
And,
or just set it somewhere and wait for someone to claim it.
And Beta Ray Bill gets it.
Yeah.
He puts the same charm Odin did.
I mean, that would be cool. I agree with that, but I think that's James Gunn's thing now. Like, I think he's their go-to for cosmic stuff, which is why I don't think we're going to get Warlock as a part of this next story.
No. If I remember correctly, I believe both Feige and Gunn have said, like, Warlock is coming, but not until Guardians 3.
Right. Guardians 3
for sure.
will have some Warlock, but Captain Marvel will be the one to save the day this time around.
Probably, yeah.
Which is just a fantastic little post-credit scene.
You gotta know that Tony's gonna be a huge part of it, simply because, Strange saw how this ends 14 million different ways, and only one wins. And, like, he gave up the time stone to save Tony's life.
Oh, Absolutely, Tony had to live
for this to pan out.
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily Tony had to live. I think what Doctor Strange saw in the future is that in order to win, they have to lose.
Right.
I think he saw the events of the fourth film that we're going to watch next May.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I'll agree that he definitely saw that, like, Thanos has to win for now, and you just come back at him afterwards. But, like, I think a big part of it, too, is, like, Tony had to live. Because he waited to give up the stone until that moment.
Sure. I mean, but I think the battle, letting his friends think there's hope, is a very concentrated decision.
Yeah.
By Doctor Strange is letting them think there's hope. He didn't tell them that he knows they can win, but they have to lose because that would have changed how they fought. Right. And they would have lost. And if Doctor Strange is seeing the future and understands that even the tiniest thing can influence it, he can't influence it. Right. Because if he does, that future doesn't come to pass.
This is true.
Right.
I feel like Tony is going to be a big part of it.
I feel like all of the surviving Avengers are going to be a big part of it, and it's the vengeance that they will now carry with them, that they have nothing left to lose. You've destroyed half their reality.
Yeah, no, especially after some of the emotional deaths that some of them had to go through.
Yeah, I mean, everybody goes down except the originals, and Rocket and War Machine.
Yeah.
That's it. Those are our Avengers that are left.
And some of those were real hard to watch. Like,
Spider-Man.
Like, Cap had to watch Bucky go again. His last words were Steve.
Yeah.
And he watched him turn to dust.
Yeah.
So, and then Okoye, right?
Yeah.
Having to watch Panther go, like, that's just as much emotional wreckage for her.
Well, and even just, M'Baku, who helps out in the battle and watches
most of his
people
just
fade to dust.
Yeah. And then back on Titan. Please, Mr. Stark.
Strange.
I don't want to go.
Oh. Spider-Man tugged at all of my heart.
Yeah, I super didn't expect him to go at all, just because we just started with him.
Yeah. Like, well, and that's the thing, right? Like they set out to devastate us and make us question the future of this reality and this franchise.
Real good job of it.
I'm very happy with Disney and Feige and all of this, just letting the Russo brothers tell the story the way they wanted to tell it. Because in all reality, yes, this movie will make whole bunches of money. It probably already has made whole bunches of money.
Broke Thursday night box office record. I think they made $40 million.
Sure, that's ridiculous.
Thursday
night.
Yeah, Thursday night openings,
preview nights.
Yeah,
but I think it's fabulous that they just let them tell a story that's not, a marketable way to do a movie where good guys lose and bad guys win.
Yeah,
that's not a very marketable way to sell a product to your audience.
Right.
But in this regard, it's exactly what needed to happen, and I'm glad that they just got out of the way and let them do that story.
No, and I think part of what makes it work so well is the Russo brothers did a really good job, and I mean a really good job of making Thanos such a relatable villain.
Yeah, he's fantastic. I mean, there's
like, you feel for him.
Yeah.
While he does these terrible things.
Yeah.
And part of it for sure is like, because when you think about it, he's not wrong.
No.
Like
life threatens the universe.
His premise is basic thermodynamics. Like, there is a limited amount of resources in the universe, and it's always on decline.
Yeah.
Like, that's rules 1 and 2 of thermodynamics.
Right, for sure.
He's not wrong.
No.
And one of the easiest ways to make it last longer and better for people is population control.
Right.
Now, he's on a very extreme level of it, but we also, they make it very clear, like, they make it very clear about how terrible it was on his planet and what happened to Titan. And we see the wreckage and the remains.
He uses the Reality Stone to show us that his planet was a paradise.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And it was ruined by arrogance.
Yeah, he watched it happen. And he, one of the successes that he uses as a good measure for what he's doing is Gamora's homeworld.
Yeah.
He wipes out half their population, and now their world is a paradise.
Yeah.
And all it took was that, like you said, that population control, that shrinking the population just by that much.
Yeah.
So
and I mean, that's part of the reason, like, at the end when he's, like, coming out of that hut and it's beautiful landscape in front of him, and he's, as he said, watching the sun rise on a thankful universe.
Yeah.
Like, I guarantee you that's Gamora's planet.
It very much, yeah. I mean, if you follow what's going on in the rest of the movie and how that whole back and forth between him and Gamora plays out, it definitely seems like that's probably where he is.
Yeah, no,
he loves her so much. He cares for her.
If she was the only thing he ever actually loved, I guarantee you that's where he retired.
Right. Honestly, I love the amount of backstory that we got and the kind of, little things that gave us a better motivation for Thanos. Mm-hmm. I really wish we could have got a little more of that, because I would have loved to have seen a little more of the relationship between Thanos and Gamora.
Right.
Because it does come to you. The Soul Stone is only claimed by sacrificing something that you love more truly than anything else.
You have to actually love something.
Yeah, and Gamora is his sacrifice.
Yeah, because it's the only thing he's ever actually loved. And I love, our friend AJ pointed it out, because I didn't notice in the moment because I was way too enraptured. Yeah. But all the impressions of bodies on the ground around Gamora, where other people have tried. Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that the second time around more clearly. Kind of heartbreaking. Yeah,
really. But I think one of the theories that I have, especially after watching it a second time, so the moment where he snaps his fingers and he wins, he immediately comes to in a kind of orange glowy room, infinite, with tiny Gamora. Yeah. And she says, "Did you do it?" And he says, "Yes." And she says, "What did it cost?" And he says, "Everything." This scene, this back and forth between them, I am really convinced now, after seeing it a second time, is within the stone.
Yeah,
inside of the Soul Stone. I really think the way they're doing the Soul Stone in this movie is that the Soul Stone didn't exist until the sacrifice is true. Yeah. Right? And then it captures the essence of that love in the stone. So I think there's your way to bring Gamora back.
Yeah,
right?
like
she is the stone now.
Right. which I've been thinking about since then, like, and Red Skull, Stone Keeper, makes a great statement about how, like, all the Infinity Stones are these special cosmic things, but amongst them, the Soul Stone holds a special place.
Yeah, the Soul Stone is unique.
No, the idea that, like, it didn't exist until the sacrifice and now Gamora is part of it, like, AJ and I, especially at work, have been discussing that, like, super at length. Yeah. And that's probably, if at all, how we get her back.
Right. And I kind of got that impression. Yeah, I mean, I kind of got that impression the first time around. Yeah. But then the second time around, I was really convinced. I was like, this is the Soul Stone speaking to him. This is Gamora still alive within the stone, speaking to him. Yeah. The form that she chose may not necessarily be her own choosing, right? Maybe that's how Thanos chooses to see her. Right. But she's there. She's within the stone.
Yeah, it's one of those kinds of things where, like, her essence is there and you view it as you feel to view it kind of situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and he's just always looked at her as daddy's little girl.
As the little girl,
Let's be real.
Yeah.
It's my daughter.
Yeah, and it's emotional. I mean,
that scene.
You realize Thanos really does have to give up everything in this quest. And that hurts him. That wounds him.
I honestly was, like, tearing up with him when he's like, I can't let destiny go by me again, because you really see him, like, question whether he can fucking do this. Yeah, and there's my PG-13. I've been real good until this moment.
No, you've said it a couple of times.
Have I?
Yes.
Darn. Shucks. Shucksy doodles.
But yeah, I agree. I mean, it's an emotional moment, and it really I think goes to Josh Brolin's performance, right?
Because he was a great.
Yeah, clearly it's a CG, right? But motion capture on his facial, and I wouldn't be surprised if he was on set during those moments, doing those lines with the other actors, wearing some kind of rig that had an eye line for everyone to look at. So
one of those head poles, so you look like 4 feet above.
Right, right. But I really do feel like it's a credit to his performance. He just does a fantastic job of making that scene emotional. Yeah, and even though your view of this person up to that point in the movie really is just that he's a bad guy, you get softened by this. Yeah. And you really start to look at his point of view differently in those moments. And I think that's fantastic. I just, Josh Brolin, bravo, man. You blow me away. And I can't wait to see you as Cable.
You deserve an Oscar, sir.
Yeah, but you probably won't get one because it's a comic movie.
I mean,
they don't really give Oscars to comic movies.
Extremely unlikely.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
It's
bro.
a very political thing.
We're right now. I'm just gonna go ahead and give him the Nerd News Oscar. How about that?
Nerd News Oscar.
The Nerd News Oscar. You won the Nerd News Oscar.
Season 3, we introduced the Nerd News Oscar and give it to Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin gets my Nerd News Oscar, and I'm pretty sure that we'll see that same kind of level of performance and just great acting talent in Deadpool when he plays Cable.
I certainly hope so.
I think it looks great. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
But man, yeah, I mean, just overall, where would you if you had to say where this falls in your top 3, say?
In my top 3?
Is it in first of all, is it in your top 3?
Yes.
Where is it in your top 3?
For the moment, it sits at a very hesitant 2. And I say that because I want to watch it more, like a couple more times before I make a final decision. For the time being, Winter Soldier still remains at number 1. For the time being, Winter Soldier is still there.
Yep.
We'll see how that goes after I watch Infinity War a couple more times, because there's a very real possibility it could change.
It's a better movie. And I think what I think is great about this discussion when it comes to the movies that people hold in such high regard, it's really the Russo brothers. Right?
Yeah.
It's really
either way, the Russo brothers are winning my heart.
It's their talent with Winter Soldier, with Civil War, with now Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah.
We see these guys have a talent for doing this.
Yeah, you just named my top 3.
Yeah. These guys have a talent for doing this that few directors have.
Yeah, no, they were a good pick.
Choice. Yeah.
Whoever decided to hire them deserves an award for best hiring choice.
Well, I mean, I have a feeling that was probably Feige.
Probably
Feige.
That's cool. He can have the Nerd News Hiring Choice Award.
But yes, for me, I think it's the top. After watching it a second time, I think this is it. And I just love that as we keep going, they're still making movies that surpass everything they've done. Yeah. All the things they've done before are great.
Keep wondering where that plateau is and keep not finding it.
Right.
The mountain's just taller and taller.
I love the idea of having to keep searching for the top.
I'm okay with climbing Everest here.
Yep. So, like we said, the movie's just fantastic. I mean, if you can put it in your top 3, I could put it at number 1 for me after seeing it a second time. Bravo. I look forward to seeing what Captain Marvel brings to the table with her movie that's set prior, and an after credit scene of her getting that message that Nick Fury sends in the end.
Yes,
because I feel like that's how you end her movie, right? You end her movie with her going, "Oh man."
Yeah. Her after credit scene absolutely has to be the other end of that page.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
She gets the page from Fury. She sees just like an eye patch.
Yeah. While people are disappearing around her wherever she is.
Yeah. I'm honestly thinking to myself that they might set up a character within the story that will give her a loss at the end of her story, right? Because her story is taking place in the 90s, but I feel like an after credit scene will connect it to what's happening, what just happened.
Reminds me, have you seen the stills, behind the scenes pictures of young Nick Fury?
Yeah,
it's kind of great. It's kind of great,
young Nick. Well, and I feel like that's the only reason we had Nick Fury and Maria Hill in that final scene anyway.
Yeah,
because they're going to be a big part of Captain Marvel.
Oh, absolutely, they have to be.
Yeah. As will Coulson, as will supposedly Ronan the Accuser and Korath. Getting them back in. That's great.
Yeah.
Kree War. I love that.
Maybe a Kree Skrull War.
See, I think the Skrulls are going to be a part of it. I mean, they've obviously said that. But
I'm not saying we're going to get that in it. I need that somewhere.
Right. I really hope that it's a conflict between. I mean, we get a little more context for the conflict between the Kree and Xandar.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's the peace treaty is signed at the beginning of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
And Ronan goes on a quest to say, screw your peace treaty.
Right.
So clearly their war had been going on for some time.
Yeah.
And I would love to see a little bit more context for that.
I know they said how long, but I don't remember. But yeah, I'd love to see some
1,000 years is what he says. I will unfurl 1,000 years of Kree justice on Xandar and burn it to its core. Right?
I'm okay with that.
So I don't know if he actually said how long they've been warring, but he feels like this goes back a long time in his ancestry.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fantastic movie. I recommend seeing it again and again because the second time was much better.
We'll say again because if you've listened to this, you've seen it.
Yeah.
You've seen it once.
Yeah.
So
see it again.
Go see it again.
See it again.
Do it again.
See it again.
Again and
Support
again.
it. I mean, like, I don't think you need a reason to, but once you see the movie, you'll want to see it again.
Oh yeah,
because that was my immediate reaction while the credits were rolling. Is I gotta watch that again.
Yeah,
for sure. I sat in stunned silence while the credits were rolling.
Oh yeah, no, I did too.
To be honest, man.
A couple of the people around me started talking about like thoughts and feelings and stuff, and my friend Kevin from work like leaned around AJ and was like, "Joe, what'd you think?" And I'm just staring at the screen with my mouth like in my hands. He's like, "Oh, cool, Joe's broken."
Yeah. Yeah, I had a moment sitting in the theater where the the little pager hits the ground and you see the symbol for Captain Marvel in the color scheme, and somebody in the theater said, "Who's that?" So I yelled, "Captain Marvel comes out in March."
Was it Anthony?
No.
No, I think my favorite out loud thing like that was when Tony got stabbed. Some dude in the back just went, "No!"
Yeah.
So loud.
The theater
he turned into Darth Vader back there.
Yeah, the theater we were sitting in was gasped.
Yeah,
I mean it was an audible. The whole theater.
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone goes silent because Tony just got stabbed.
Yeah, like, oh god, is this the moment where we lose him?
Right, everyone's so worried about Tony living or dying that became such a big part of it.
Yeah, well, and we got so distracted by that we didn't notice Peter disappearing until it was too late.
Oh, poor Peter.
I just have to keep, dude.
All these people are going to be back. It's fine. We're going to have time travel. We're going to fix it.
Yeah,
it's great.
The stones are still fine.
Right.
There's still a mold for the gauntlet.
Yeah, there was another one sitting in the.
No, that was just a makeshift.
Oh, okay.
Like,
yeah,
designs.
Yeah, the dwarves
like when they
like
cut a car out of clay when they're designing it, kind of situation.
Okay,
but like I'm sure the mold still exists.
Yeah.
For it. So like, yeah, we can make another gauntlet.
Mm-hmm. That's easy. And who knows? On Earth, we already have the two people that know that the dwarves of Nidavellir were the ones who made the gauntlet to begin with, because Thor and Rocket are both on Earth with the rest of the Avengers.
Yeah.
In fact, the only Avengers that aren't on Earth is Tony.
Yeah.
Well, Nebula, if you want to count her, but I don't really think we should count her.
I mean, no.
She's just kind of a vengeful wrath.
No, dude, I'm worried that she's gonna like come to Earth and crash the ship and accidentally kill Tony because she likes running ships into things.
Yeah, I don't think that's how. I don't think Tony's gonna go out in a ship crash. I think if Tony goes out, it's gonna be stabbed like he was. I thought that was it. I thought that was the moment. I was like, no, this is it. My heart. I can't take it. But I want to thank you guys for sitting in here, listening with us. I want to thank Joe for coming on and
hey. Welcome to season 3.
Start of season 3, Infinity War. I got some new things I want to introduce for season 3, so keep your ears open for that in the future.
I'll see you again in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Is it till Deadpool?
Yeah, sure. Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
We'll definitely review Deadpool 2.
And Solo the week after.
Solo. I can't wait. I'm excited about that one too.
Yeah.
So if you're a listener and you're local, don't forget we're going to be out at Miniature Market on May the 20th. It's a Sunday. We're going to be doing some game demos for some things that Miniature Market has on specialty price. So you'll be able to try out a game, and then if you dig it, you'll be able to get you a very cheap copy of it. I mean, they're blowing me away with some of their prices at that store.
Yeah.
You agree?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, they're pretty nice pricing.
They're blowing me away.
If I have the free time, I'm coming out. For you guys' thing. I want to hang out and play some board games with you.
So there you go. Come out, meet Joe, the movie guy, the movie reviewer. You're the movie reviewer. You're my movie reviewer.
I am. It's all I really come around for.
I mean, we've done a couple of regular episodes too. Yeah. But
I'm
when there's movie reviews to be had, it's going to be you from now on. That's just how it's
because I go to them.
Well, that's because you're also you also love to talk about the movies that you see. So.
I mean, this is true. I like movies, man. I should have gone into the film industry, not as an actor, because I'm not that good at one.
But come check us out. Meet us. We'll teach you how to play some games, and we'll get you a pretty good deal from the guys at Miniature Market on those games. In early June, we are going to be launching the Kickstarter for Conniving Cooks. If you're local, we will also have a demo day for that, the day it launches up at Miniature Market. We don't know what day that's going to be yet. We're still kind of working the kinks out. Kickstarter's a pretty big beast, and this is the first time we're doing it. But we got, EG Games. We'd love to bring some of these ideas to you. Do me a favor. Also go over to entertainthegeeky.com. Check out everything that's going on there with the blog posts and the nerd news stuff, all the shows. So Entertain the Geeky. The Nerd News podcast, obviously, we got Matt and Jeff over there with the Board Game Bros. They're brothers. They play board games. They critique and deconstruct the board games that they talk about. And I don't know. Are you gonna be joining us as well?
I don't know. None of you have talked to me since your meeting last week yet.
Well, that was supposed to be Roger's job. We don't need to talk about that. We'll let Roger deal with that. That's his job.
Okay.
But so maybe in the future we might have Joe joining us as well with a game podcast that he's going to be doing.
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll say tentatively.
On the down low.
Right. We'll say tentatively that might happen. If you can follow us on Facebook over at facebook.com/entertainmentgeeky. If Twitter is more your social media platform of choice, we are there as well at Entertain Geeky. And if you want to chat with me, talk about what we discussed on the show today, or just let me know what you think, and give me some ideas for future episodes that you'd like to hear. Shoot me an email at etgnerdnews@gmail.com. Thanks again to Joe.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, and until next time, guys, stay geeky.